Hey, welcome back everyone. My name is Briggs.
We are back.
We are back.
We've been working so much out in the trade, helping people with their pellet stuff. So this is a late night deal. What is it? What, like 10:45?
No, it's 11:22.
11:22.
Getting close to burning the midnight.
Well, I tell you, what we got is Folgers, but we thank you for viewing in today. So Briggs, what are we going to talk about?
So, like I said, we're from Miles Pellet Sales, and today's focus is we're going to be focusing on the loud, squeaky fans problems that many people with pellet stove may be facing. So, what my dad is going to be doing here.
Me?
Oh yeah, I get the camera today. What he's going to be doing, which I may chime in a little bit, is he's going to be going through a number of examples of used fans here. No worries, we'll do a close-up. And what to do, what to use, what not to use, spoiler alerts and stuff, and what to use, going right back to it. And just a lot of helpful tips to see what you can tackle, to see maybe it's a quick fix, maybe just a little bit more effort, or if all in all, you get to the end of the road, you might have to get yourself a new fan, which it happens, but you know.
Are we getting close to the camera? You're going to get real close to the camera.
Yeah.
This is all good. We're having a good time. Thanks for joining us.
All right, let's get to it.
Yep. Okay, let's go. Welcome back. Now, today we're going to be going over the convection room air fans a little bit. And not the exhaust, the convection room air fans. Those are the ones that push the warm air out into your dwelling. So let's go. So they come in a lot of different configurations, and they've changed over the years too. And so this one here, you just want to keep them clean. So if you've got a fan that's not, let's just say it's barely moving like this. Well, it could be that it needs a little bit of lubricant, or number two, this motor is toast. It doesn't have enough power anymore to move this. So what you want to do, it's really nice when you take it out of your stove, your convection room air fan. I would, especially during the winter months, if you're down and out and this thing is not moving, and it may take 2 or 3 days to get a new fan to you, or they're out of stock. Oh boy, figure this out. I know you can do it. So I usually take a paintbrush, and you want to clean all these fins out. Number one, that's what you want to do. For me, that's what works. Or you can use, well, a toothbrush, and you can get in here and clean each one. And you can see my finger here. I'm spinning it. So there you go. And so if you've got a can of compressed air, that works great. Or the handy dandy air compressor, if you have one of those, that works great too. But the thing is that right in this area here, there is a bearing. And a lot of these convection room air fans, the bearing is basically pressed in there, and it's, well, encapsulated where you can't get to it a lot of the time. Some of them you can get to the bearing and replace the bearing, but most people don't have a bearing on hand. So what do? Well, right here on this particular fan here, motor on one side, and here's the fan blades here, is putting a little bit of oil here, and I'm going to show you another place to put the oils on the other side where you see this rubber grommet. So I can tell you, Briggs and I have gone through a lot of fans. We have saved some fans during very hard times, and we've gotten them going for ourselves and others out there. So it's kind of cool. But I tell you what, these are PB Blaster is a great penetrating catalyst, they call it. And this is good for like loosening up like rusty bolts and nuts and things like that. It's just nice. You can use these, and well, we kind of use these on the Quadrifier burn pots, where the bottom opens and closes when you pull that front lever out. Sometimes that bottom plate of the burn pot, well, gets stuck, and so you have to get all the garbage out of there, vacuum it, and if you spray a little bit of PB Blaster at the bottom of your Quadrifier burn pot, then pretty soon it'll work itself out. So that's kind of cool. But please don't use this on your fans, because this will just rip the ball bearing to shreds. I'm just joking, but it'll basically just take all the lubricant out of what's left in that ball bearing or the bearing itself. And so that's not good. Obviously, this is great. Well, for maybe 5 minutes, if you spray the hoot out of your fans, I've seen some people do it. and all of a sudden their fan quiets down and works really great. In about 5, maybe 7, maybe 12 minutes, all of a sudden the fan starts screaming because this broke down the lubricant within that bearing that's in the fan. So we always go back to the basic household oil, or something similar to this would be 3-in-1. So 3-in-1 here on the bottom of this fan here, you can just take right here, just a couple little drops, just let it sit in there. And when you do, then take your fan and just kind of move it back and forth a little bit. Now the other side of this fan, here you go, is this rubber grommet. Let's see if I can get this out of here. Good gracious, these gloves aren't helping me with the dang brakes. Can I get it out of here?
Need a tool for it? Or can you do it by hand?
I'm going to keep biting this thing like I don't have a tool. Okay, so you can kind of see it coming apart here.
Ah, perfect.
So basically, when you take this off, let's just go slow here. I'm going to rip it there. And it comes out just like this. Now, key thing here, that little nipple just rides in here. So when I ride in this area here, this just rides in here. So you can take a little bit, these kind of differ a little bit. You just put a little bit of oil in there, 3-in-1. There you go. And then you want to put this back in, but you can see there's kind of a seal. So you want to press this in. Is it easy? No. Let's see if I can do it. You want to put it in. Let me just put it up like this. This is awful. Usually Briggs and I are faster than this, but it's later in the hoop. But anyway, can I even get this back in?
Yeah, we put it in later if need be. I think they get the point.
No, I'm going to keep doing this until I get the darn thing in there.
All right.
I just can't see anymore. There we go. So I put that back on there, and there's oil in there. So that seals back on there. Just kind of go, you saw me do it. I didn't have any tools, so sometimes you can use any type of screwdriver or anything like that, but you have the risk of puncturing this seal on the end. So now this will spin nicely because you put oil on the bottom of this. So it's really, really nice. I like it. So here, there's one. We'll go to the second one. Hang with us. This is a dual cage. So the dual cage, the bearings are in here. They're right in here. And they're right in here. And so sometimes right in this area here, right there, and right there on these, it squeals a little bit. So again, what you can do is clean out the area, airbrush it, however you want to do it. Get the garbage out of there. You're going to have dog hair, cat hair, dust. You get it. But take a little bit of this and just put it right in those two little areas. And it's not going into the ball bearing. So when that goes in there, kind of spin these a little bit. This one here, yeah, it's getting better and better. Some guys and gals, what they'll do is they'll take their fan out and they'll put it on their workbench and they will connect this to 110 power, but only do it if you know what you're doing. But they'll hook it up to 110 power and then they'll just let it run after they clean it and they lubricate it the best they can. And a lot of times when you keep them running and running and running and running, pretty soon they clear up and you may get a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or you may just get 1 day, but just enough to keep your fan up and rolling. So there you go. There's that one. So one more. Yeah, we could do 2, but we're not. This is the old school, and you'll find these on many of the stoves still. But what I like in the back, where the motor is, if you spin it, you will see a little spot like this. And that's where you put your 3-in-1 oil. So this, as I turn it around, I'm going to make sure, yep, right here. So that oil will drip right down into this area here and it'll lubricate it. So you want to just take a little bit here and just drop it down in there and it'll go and it'll drop down into there. And then you want to do is start spinning this. Look how dirty this is. You want to clean this one out. But this one still is a little stiff.
Yeah, that one is going to need some love.
Well, I think it'll be saved. I mean, this is a good quality fan, but you just keep running it and cleaning it. But again, this is not a bad one. This one here that you could find, like if you have like, probably an old Whitfield. I think this one came from. This is a good motor, but where you oil it, how many times do I have to spin it? There you go. Right here on the edge, you can see that little hole there. So right here, just take the 3-in-1 and just like 3 drops. Just let it sit there. Turn your fan around. Make sure it's clean, and just kind of work it by hand. Sometimes when you turn this, it's stiff. Just keep working it, working it, working it. And guys and gals, if you want to put it on your workbench and take 110 power to it, if that's the way that you feel is best, do it and just let it run. But make sure you know what you're doing. So after a while, this will start spinning, but you want it, like this one's not bad. It's getting there. And you just keep working it. But if you don't want to do 110 power to it, make sure this is clean. Use your hand. Keep working it. Pretty soon put it back in to your stove. So there you go. But the way that they're coming down, this is old school. And some of them are still this way. This is a Fasco fan. Not bad. But the new ones are like this. So you can see that the motor is revealed here. You can see the whole motor. And obviously the connectors, this is what they call the cooling adapter. Does it really cool the fan? I don't think so. I think this fan in here cools it down better, but that's my opinion. But you turn it around, well, look how nice that is. I mean,
shiny.
It's shiny nice. So if in doubt, if you can't get your fans up and going the old school way with what you have to get you by, then you'll have to get a new fan. But try to save the old ones. I know a lot of folks out there that save their old fans. They just lubricate them, clean them. Pretty soon they're up and running. They'll last, well, who knows? Like I said, 1 day, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, who knows? Maybe a year. But once you see this start to happen, prepare yourself. Buy a fan, put it in your shop, your garage, your kitchen cabinet, so you have one ready to go. So when the fan that you had that you just saved for a while, pretty soon, guess what? You got a new one ready to go, and put it in your stove, and it will make your day and your family's day. So there you go. Hopefully these are some helpful tips. What, Briggs?
Well, real quick. So if people have more of the newer fans like this, but they're getting a little older, how would they put the 3-in-1 in that?
Well, you don't. You really don't. I mean, right here, I can show people right in here and right in here. These are bearings. And so they make them to where you use them and you chuck them or throw them or discard them or recycle them. I'm going to be nice every which way. But a lot of times people can put a little bit of 3-in-1 where my finger is there, right in there and right in there. Because a lot of times dust and dander and dog and cat hair gets sucked in here, and this doesn't spin freely. So if you really clear it, so you can see when it's moving here, this is really nice. Yeah, because it's new. But if you keep it clean every year, the longevity will be there for you, your friends, and your family.
All right, everyone.
Okay, let's go.
All right, let's go. Like my dad said. Hopefully this video has been real helpful for you all. Dad, I think you did a good job going through the fans, and overall, seems like, just a few of the key points. If it's quick fix, it may just need some cleaning, some brushing, using the air, whatever you need, that might actually help it out. Sometimes if people like to be a little handy, they may take things apart, they may see things that might need a little tweak, all up to you, or it just might need some little extra help with some products. All in all, just tackling this kind of task in a pellet stove, you also have to think, well, what's really worth your time? So if you're spending hours upon hours and more money on products on a fan, you got to think, well, is it just cheaper and time saving just to buy a new one? So we'll leave that up to you guys, but overall, hopefully you guys can glean from this. And got any last words? I know you always do.
I'm really tired. This is like midnight. Good golly. But all this is basically if in dire straits where you really need to try to get that fan going until you can get a new one. And usually a lot of times these fans, like this one here, you may hear this motor humming a little bit and this isn't spinning. That's a pretty good sign that you probably have a higher probability of saving the fan, because this motor is getting good electrical current. It wants to spin, but there's so much, cat hair, dog hair, you get it, in the fan. It needs to be cleaned and lubed, and a lot of times this motor is trying to turn, and you clean and you lubricate it. Pretty soon this starts moving a little bit, and you keep working it. Pretty soon it starts spinning. See, that stopped. But once I start lubing this thing, this will start doing its job, and it may get you by. But this is a key thing, like Greg said, 3-in-1, not WD-40, not PB Blaster. It's recommended because it'll make it worse. So if you hear, like Briggs, we've been to some people's homes where we hear this fan really screaming, a lot of noise. And when you hear, most of the time, a lot of screaming, a lot of noise from this fan, most of the time that bearing and the lubricant within that bearing is gone. And so any 3-in-1 will not help it. So if you hear kind of some chirping noises coming from your fans, be proactive, figure out your make and model, get on the internet, call us if you wish, and buy another one so you have it and you're ready to go. So there's my spiel. Yeah, that's it.
And last thing, I always got to reinforce it.
What?
People are always tempted to use WD-40 on these fans. We hear it a lot because you know what? This is a great product. It helps with a lot of things. But with these fans, we just noticed it's a very short-term fix. They put in all this work, and guess what? Once you put all the tools away, they're just chilling, watching TV. And man, we've heard of stories, these things being 10 times as loud as they were before. So not a great scenario, especially when you think you're all comfortable and everything else. So yeah, that's all I got.
We appreciate you viewing in. And I tell you, next time we'll have some more energy. We've got some cool things coming your way. Again, we thank you, your friends, and your family for tuning in. Pellet Stove TV. See you next time.
All right, thanks guys. See you next time.